make sure that the audio is working. We are live now. So if you can hear me okay and you are just tuning in, please give me a thumbs up so that I know that the audio is working. I'm looking at the comments. If you see me glancing to the top left of the screen, it is because I am looking at all the boards that we are currently streaming it on. So you'll have to forgive me. If you're just tuning in, I said that I was going to go live every day for the rest of the year, barring holidays, barring vacations. Um, Only because if I go on vacations, I don't really know if I'm not going to have all of the equipment with me anyway to be able to do what it is that I want to do. So it probably wouldn't make sense for me to do it on vacation. But barring vacations, barring major holidays, barring that I'm not at the hospital, barring that I am not at the buffet line, I will be doing a live once per day. So today, what I wanted to talk about was what to do when you have no leads, when you are a real estate agent, real estate broker, real estate salesperson, or just in sales, or you an entrepreneur, right? So most of my audience happens to be people that are obviously involved in real estate in some capacity, but at the core of it, I really believe that real estate agents. Real estate investors, real estate brokers, people in real estate. Most of us are entrepreneurs, right? We all tend to work for ourselves. We all control our own schedules. A lot of us are paid on commissions, and we're paid when deals close. So at the core of it, we are all entrepreneurs, in my opinion. So what I'm about to share with everybody really doesn't just apply to real estate agents or real estate brokers. It also applies to anyone that has that entrepreneurial spirit, that has their own business that they are running. It doesn't matter what it is. If you have something that you are doing on the side and you are building it while you work your normal 9 to 5, or you have your own business, this is still going to apply to you. So I think it's very, very pertinent information for anyone that is an entrepreneur because it impacts your message, right? So we'll talk about that in a little bit. For those of you who are just turning in, I published a book not too long ago. It's called "It's Not the Leads, It's You," and it is on Amazon. So if you have an opportunity, please pick it up. It's Not the Leads, It's You by Paul Argueta. You can get it on Amazon. If you purchase it on Amazon and you take a picture of it, of yourself, excuse me, take a picture of yourself with the book, shoot me a picture of it, or even more importantly, if you take a picture of yourself holding the book and you tag me in it, I will get you a free code, a code so that you can download the book on Audible, okay? So a really good book. It covers a lot of stuff, and it also covers a lot of stuff on AI, artificial intelligence, on how to use it to generate leads and how to use it to continue to grow your business. So it's not the leads, it's you, and it's on Amazon. Get a look at it and purchase it, and then let me know. All right, so I'm going to give the algorithm a little bit. Yeah, so what you don't know, Phoenix, is that I actually published this one first. This was my first book that I published before I published the one that most recently came out, Deal Like a Dove and Dispo Like a Dragon. That's my second book. This is the very first one, and so this was a learning lesson for me on how to do it, on how to publish on Amazon, how to get it on Amazon Kindle, how to get it on Audible, how to get it in Barnes and Nobles, how to get it on Google Books, how to get it on Apple Books. So I learned all of that courtesy of this book. So at some point or another, I'm probably going to release that content too, to everybody on how to self-publish your own book. So give me a thumbs up. Let me shoot me a message, send me a DM. Let me know if that is something that you would be interested in, because it is a lot of work, but it's not as hard as you think it is. At least it wasn't for me. That's my own personal opinion. So yeah, the book is called "It's Not the Leads, It's You." All right. I'm going to give the algorithm just a little bit more time just to kick in, to let people know that we are live, and then we are going to go into what are you going to do? Right? What are you going to do if you have no leads, if you have no clients, if you have nothing in your sales funnel, and you need to get business? What do you do next? So the background that I chose for our slideshow today was Sherlock Holmes. Um, he's a detective, right? What do we do? We're looking for leads all the time, right? So I kind of felt like it applied. If you think it does, great. Let me know in the comments. If you think it doesn't, you won't hurt my feelings. No big deal. I'll be picking another background image in the very near future. So, all right, let's move on. Number one, if you don't have any clients, if you don't have any leads, if you don't have any business, if you don't have anything in your sales funnel, number one, right now, stop reading the news. Okay, you have to stop reading the news. You have to create your own economy. This is something that a lot of us do, and we're going to have to get out of that habit. It doesn't matter who's president, it doesn't matter who is governor, it doesn't matter who is mayor. What matters is who is the mayor of your own brain, who is the governor of your own head, who is the president of your own body. That is what's most important right now. So stop reading the news. All you're hearing is about the economy and how things aren't going right, about inflation, about prices, about how houses aren't selling, about how interest rates are too high, about how rent is too high. Stop reading the news, okay? All it is doing, and by the way, okay, let's talk about that for a second. When you go online, if you're like me, I love Google News. Some people like Apple News. Some people like all these RSS feeds that feed news into onto their phone. Whatever it might be, right? Whatever you use to get news, what it does is it actually gives you more of what you're clicking on. So if you use Google News, for instance, and there's a particular article that you click on, it doesn't matter what it is. If you're an anti this or a pro that, and you click on it and you read it, it is logging the articles that you're clicking on. It's logging the time that you are spending on the articles that you are clicking on. So when it discovers that you are pro something or anti something, and you've clicked on the news and you're reading that article and you're spending more time on that particular article, guess what? That news source is going to provide you with more of that content, with more of that news, with more articles that is going to support what they think you are either for or against. So it's like a self-perpetuating cycle. So what you don't want to do is you don't want to go in there and read news that is contradictory to what you believe in your head or what you want to see happen, right? So I won't click on these articles that say the economy is bad. I won't click on these articles that tell me that real estate is not good in 10 markets, or the 10 top markets where prices are diving, or the reasons that buyers aren't buying properties right now, or the reasons that homeowners don't want to refinance, or the reasons that homeowners don't want to leave their house and give up their rates that are under 4%. I will not click on those articles, because I know that if I click on those articles, what's going to happen is that news aggregate, that news source is just going to provide me with more of that content, and I'm going to see it, and I'm going to be tempted to read it. And the more you click on it and the more you're tempted to read it, the more that you're going to see it. It's like a vicious cycle. So stop doing it. Stop doing it. If it doesn't necessarily promote what it is that you want to see in your own personal business, in your own personal economy, don't click on it, don't read on it. You just need to avoid it. You're going to have to detox for a while, right? That's what you're going to have to do. Detox yourself from all of the news that's out there. That's the very first thing that you need to do. If you don't have any leads, if you don't have any clients, if you don't have anyone in your funnel, detox yourself from the news, okay? All right, next one. You're going to need to get louder. This is very, very, very important, all right? When you don't have any leads, when you don't have any clients, when you don't have anyone in your funnel right now, that is not the time for you to crawl back into your corner and hide and complain and worry and get depressed. That is the time for you to get louder. I don't understand why some people, when things aren't necessarily going right, why they decide that's the time for me to turn to other extracurricular activities. That's the time for me to do other things, as opposed to say, okay, now I'm going to get louder about my business. Right now, I don't have any clients. I don't have any customers. I don't have anyone in my funnel. I don't have any leads. I don't have anything. I'm just going to be quiet, right? I'm just going to sit and watch TV. I'm going to consume content. I'm going to read the news. I'm going to sleep in later. I'm going to go to bed later. All of these things that you could do, as opposed to saying, no, you know what? I am just going to get louder about what it is that I do so that that way I can attract more business and whatever it might be. Again, I know that the majority of my audience happens to be people that are real estate related just because of my sphere of influence. But this applies to anybody that has their own business, anybody that is an entrepreneur. When you don't have clients, when you don't have customers, when you don't have business, that is when you get louder. That is not the time that you become more timid. That is not the time that you become more self-conscious. That's the time that you need to roar so that other people can hear about your business. And we're going to talk about why. Number 3, your message is not being repeated enough. I wanted to do that in the form of a song, but for whatever reason, it didn't quite come out right. Okay. So your message is not being repeated enough. It's said that someone has to hear your message a minimum of 7 to 12 times before a buyer is going to change their buying habits. A minimum of 7 to 12 times. So think about that, right? How often are you actually telling people about what it is that you do? If you're a real estate practitioner, if you're a loan officer, if you're a title officer, if you're an escrow officer, right? Let's talk about outside of real estate. If you own a catering company, if you own a moving company, a dry cleaners, it doesn't matter. How often are you actually making an effort to go out there and talk about your business? But Paul, I'm already advertising. I'm already out there advertising, and I pay for advertising, and I'm still not getting any type of business right now, or I'm still not getting any type of leads right now, or I'm still not getting any type of inbound calls right now. And so what are you going to do? Right? If you're not getting any type of inbound marketing calls from your efforts, your advertising efforts, well, then you're going to have to drum up some type of outbound marketing campaign so that you could do it yourself. Your message isn't being repeated enough. Gary Vee talks about it all the time on how most people they're not talking about what they do enough. And here's what you're saying to yourself. You're saying, well, people are going to get tired of hearing me say this or saying that or saying, talking about what it is that I do. Listen, I don't know if you've noticed it or not, but if you watch like Netflix or Hulu or Disney Plus, or you watch even Amazon Prime now, and you subscribe to the versions where there's commercials in between the shows, okay? I know I'm not the only one, but when you do that, haven't you noticed that you're watching your show, you're watching a movie, you're watching a series, you're watching whatever on those streaming platforms, and then every 20 minutes or so, or even less than that, every 3 to 5 minutes or so, you're then hit with the same commercials over and over and over again while you're watching. I don't know what it is, but sometimes you'll see the same commercial, throughout the whole show, the whole movie, the whole series, whatever it is. It's the same commercial over and over and over and over again within, one sitting. Right? Before, when you used to watch TV the old school way, where we used to watch it with the tube TVs, right? You'd see a commercial, and then you'd see a different commercial, and then you'd see a different commercial, and then whatever. You see a variety of different commercials, okay? No big deal. But now on the streaming platforms, you watch the show, they'll force you to watch the same commercial within one series at least 3, 5, 7 times in one sitting on one movie or one series. Why do you think that is? Right? Why do you think that is? And I'm looking for the comments here to see what people think. Why is that? Well, number one, the main reason that is because our attention spans are so limited, right? We have an attention span now that is probably less than that of a goldfish. Our attention spans are so limited that it's probably going to take people even more times to hear a message, right? Because of all the distractions before they change that buying habits. And so these companies know that. So they decided, well, they're going to watch their show anyway, and they're probably going to be distracted on their phone when that commercial comes up anyway. We might as well show the same commercial 5, 7 times throughout the entire series. We'll make them watch it each time, and they can't skip it anyway, right? So they know this. So if these big companies know this, and these big companies that are worth millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, billion-dollar companies, if they know this and they're making you sit through the same advertisements, they're making you sit through those same commercials over and over and over again in one sitting, the same one over and over again. Why aren't you repeating your message? Right? Why are you so embarrassed about what everybody else thinks about you and what it is that you do, and you're not sharing that message over and over and over and over again? Your message isn't being repeated enough, and Not only is it not being repeated enough, but it's being throttled, right? So if you're posting something on social media, right, about what it is that you do, going back to, let's see, again, let's go back to the dry cleaning example, right? If you're posting messages about, hey, I own a dry cleaning business, I'm walking into my dry cleaners, what a great day it is, I can't wait to get started. And you're posting that, you and I, including myself, have been under the assumption that if we post that, everybody's going to see it. Okay, that's what we think. We think that everyone is going to see our message. Now, when social media first started back in 2000, and Facebook came out in 2007, 2008, you could post something, and anybody that was associated or followed you, or a friend of yours, or whatever you want to call it of yours, they would see that message. Okay, that was back then. Those were the early days of social media. People saw your messages when you post something. It's not the case anymore. Okay, it doesn't work that way anymore. Yes, do some people see your messages? Absolutely. Do all of your contacts on your social media friends list see your postings? No, they don't. They are intentionally being throttled because they want the advertisers, the people that actually spend money on their platforms, they want to push their content out forward versus all the people that are using their content for free, right? I mean, think about it. And this happens all the time. You have a friend, you haven't seen him for a while, maybe it's a week, 2 weeks. You see them at work, or you see them at church, or you see them at Little League, whatever. They walk up to you and they're like, "Hey, did you see where I went?" And you look at them like, what are you talking about? I have no idea what you're talking about. Where'd you go? And they're like, "Well, I posted it on social media. I went to Thailand for like 2 weeks, and I wrestled a Bengal tiger, and then I rode an elephant, and then I got food poisoning, and then they want to photo dump their lives on you right there and there." Anyway, the point that I'm trying to make is they think that just because they posted their content on social media, and that because you guys are connected on social media, they think you know what's going on within their life, okay? When the reality, again, going back to what I said, is that these social media platforms, they're throttling all of that stuff anyway, right? They're preventing your entire audience from seeing all your messages. So going back to what I said earlier, number one, your message isn't being repeated enough, right? So it's not being repeated enough. You've got that working against most of you. Then number two, your message is being throttled. So you're not doing it enough, and then when you are doing it, guess what? It's not even really being broadcasted the way that you think it's being broadcasted, right? So most of us are thinking here that we're going out there, and that is the primary reason, FYI. FYI, that's the reason that I decided, okay, game on. Let's go live. And so I made a commitment to myself now that I am going to be going live every single day. I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to be taking some time out of my day, and I'm going to be going live. And that's what we're doing right now, right? Because I'm guilty of the same thing that we're all guilty of, and I just decided that I was going to combat this by doing what I'm doing now. So your message, number one, is not being repeated enough. And then on top of that, your message is being throttled. Okay? And we're so embarrassed about what other people think because we think that we might be posting our message too often, that we're going to turn them off, that we're going to lose them as fans, that we're going to lose them as potential customers, when they're so busy in their own head, with their own lives, with their own challenges, with their own demons, with their own things that they're dealing with, that they're probably not seeing your message anyway. So that means that you're going to actually have to double up, if not triple up, on what it is that you're already doing to promote whatever it is that you're doing. If you're a real estate practitioner, if you're an entrepreneur, if you run your own business, if you've got a salon, if you've got whatever type of business it is, your message has to be sent much more often. Almost every single day, multiple times a day. But Paul, it's boring and it's frustrating and I'm afraid about what I look like. And look, man, at some point, you're just not going to care anymore. At some point, it just really doesn't matter because you're either going to become a success story or you're not, and your message is going to be heard or it's not. You're going to have to make a decision, right? It's just the way it is, okay? So your message is being throttled. People aren't seeing your message. I already talked about that. Oh, cool. All right, so that is exactly, that's really all I wanted to talk about today. So for those of us who are in real estate, okay, if you are a real estate agent and you don't have any clients right now, then you are going to have to get the message out. Now, what are the different ways that you could get your message out? The different ways that you could get the message out, 1 second. I have a phone call that's coming in, and I forgot to put myself on Do Not Disturb. Anyway, okay, so one thing that you could do, number one, is you could go out and use social media. That's probably the easiest, the fastest, and the cheapest way for you to be able to do this. Hop on social media, pick up your phone. Hey, my name is Paul. I don't know if you guys know it or not, but I am a real estate agent. And I'm looking for people to help, people that might be looking to buy or sell their home. So if you have a friend or a family member that is thinking about buying or selling their home, please refer them over to me or put me into contact with them. I promise I'll take care of them and then I'll take care of you. Okay? Simple message like that. Now, you're thinking, I don't want to post that every single day. People are going to get sick of posting that every single day. I don't want to see that on my social media feed every single day. People are going to think that I'm begging for business. Again, going back to my commercial example with all the streaming platforms that are doing it, you're not, and you're not doing it enough. So that's one quick way. Another thing, so for those of you who are real estate practitioners and you don't have any listings and you don't have any buyers and you don't have anyone that you're working with, number one, I want you to find the latest listing in your backyard, the one that is closest to you, the one that you can get to in the next 5 to 10 minutes. Trust me, there's a listing. Find the newest one, and I want you to then go out there and I want you to talk to all the neighbors to the left and I want you to talk to all the neighbors to the right. You would be surprised how many agents do not canvas and talk to the neighbors when they get a brand new listing. Okay, I've been guilty of it myself. Yes, I understand that life kicks in, you get busy, and you don't go out and do it. But what I want you to do is, it doesn't even have to be your listing. You just go, you get the newest listing within 5 to 10 minutes of you that you can get right away, print out a few flyers, put your face on there. You don't have to say that you're the listing agent. You're just saying, hey, just listed. And then at the bottom, you want to make sure that you give credit to the actual listing agent, who the listing agent is. And then you talk to the neighbors. Knock on the door. Hey, John or Jane, my name is Paul. Listen, I don't know if you heard it or not, but your neighbor at 1234 Mockingbird Lane just put their property up for sale. I don't know if you know it, but it's a 3-bed, 2-bathroom home, and it's on the market for $1.5 million. Do you know of anybody that you would like to purchase that home so that they could be your neighbor? Any friend, family member? Does anybody come to mind? Right? Simple script like that. And then you just talk to them and you get to know them and then you move on. 10 doors to the left, 10 doors to the right. That's one of the first and easiest ways for you to go out there and get some leads. And again, it's about you repeating that message, right? Over and over and over again. 10 to the left, 10 to the right. Find one new listing every single day and do that for 5 days this week and tell me that you weren't able to find any possible leads or anybody that you think could potentially turn into a client for you. You can. That's one way. Second way, I want you to find any listing that's been sitting on the market for 90 days or more. 90 days or more. And right now in this current market, there are a lot of listings that have been sitting for 90 days or more. Then what I want you to do is I want you to call the listing agent. Hey, John or Jane Doe, listing agent. My name is Paul. Look, I wanted to see if there was a chance that your sellers would be open to me holding an open house at this listing for you. You don't have to do anything. I'll do it. I have my own signs. I'll make my own flyers. All I need you to do for me is to put it on the MLS that it's going to be open this Sunday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. I'll handle the rest. Okay. Now, are some listing agents going to be opposed to this? Absolutely. Yes, some are. Some will be opposed to this because some of them are going to feel like, number one, you are intruding on their listing. Or number two, you are making them look bad because you are making them look like they are not working. However, if that listing agent is smart, that listing agent will prep the seller and they will say, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Seller, I've got great news. Listen, I've got somebody who's going to be working directly with me and we're going to be holding an open house this weekend. I would love to be able to have access to it so they could help me do that. And if they prep it right and they frame it right, then there should be they shouldn't have any qualms about you going out there and hosting the open house for them. Okay. Now, you do this every weekend, right? On a Saturday or a Sunday, right? Everybody has their religious beliefs and their religious faith, so I'm not suggesting that you work on the days that you hold your Sabbath, but you just pick one day on the weekend to hold an open house. Find a few houses that have been sitting on the market for 90 days or more, call the listing agent, propose to them that you do the open house. You hold an open house, you're going to get some leads. Now, you want to go gangbusters, here's what you do too. The Friday before the weekend when you have the open house, you go and you talk to the 10 neighbors to the left, 10 neighbors to the right. Let them know that you're going to be holding an open house. Leave them with a flyer. Leave them with your business card. Invite them to come over to the house so that you can show them the house yourself and see how that works out for you. Okay? So again, What are we talking about here? We are talking about you being loud, getting loud, repeating your message over and over and over and over again, and doing it over and over again. And here's the kicker. So while you're doing all this stuff, and while you're talking to the neighbors to the left and talking to the neighbors to the right, you're picking up in your phone and you're saying, hey, it's Paul. Listen, we're going to be doing an open house at this house right here, the one right behind me, this Saturday or Sunday. I'm talking to all the neighbors. I'm going to invite them over. We're going to have a great time. If you can be here, come by this Saturday from 12 to 1. All right, talk to you later. Bye, click, done. Boom. You've posted on social media, and now it's not just a post of you saying, hey, can you refer me business? Now it's you going out there and talking about your regular activity, okay? So you have to get louder. You're going to have to do it. That's the only way to build this business right now if you don't have any clients, okay? And entrepreneurs, the same thing applies. Now, I know that obviously the strategies are going to be a little bit different if you've run a dry cleaning business, right? But I don't understand how a dry cleaning business or an entrepreneur can't just go and document what they do during the day. Talking about the process, right? You pick up your phone and you film what it is that you're doing. You film how you're cleaning the clothes. You're filming some of the stuff, obviously not violating any type of personal information, right? You know, I wouldn't suggest that you document when you're dry cleaning somebody's nightie, right, or intimate wear. But anyway, so my point is that you document this stuff and you film it, and you're like, this is what we do. This is the extra mile that we go to make sure that stains come out of the clothes, and you clean it, whatever. The point is that you're gonna have to get better. We all are. You're going to have to get good at documenting what it is that you do and sharing it over and over and over and over again. And you're going to probably have to do it 1, 2, 3 times a day. That's just part of what it's going to take in order for you to succeed in your entrepreneurial endeavor during this time, during this era, when people have a very, very short attention span. All right, I'm going to plug the book one more time. The name of the book is called It's Not the Leads, It's You. All right? It's on Amazon. If you have a chance to pick it up, please pick it up. Take a picture of yourself with it. Send me the picture. Tag me on social media. I'll send you a free code for Audible so that you can download the Audible version for free. I am looking at the comments right now. I appreciate the support, you guys. Thank you for participating. And by the way, just so that everybody knows, after I am done with this, what I will be doing is I will be chopping this up. I will be having somebody help me do it, of course, but they'll be chopping it up, and we'll be converting it into shorts and reels as well. So for those of you who are learning from what it is that I'm doing, you're watching it in real time. You're watching the growth in the activity take off, because I'm going to share what those numbers look like after having gone live every day last week and having gone live every day this week. All this content that you're filming going live, you can then use that to produce reels for it. Okay, just an FYI, and that's it becomes a cycle. And I'll explain more for those of you who are interested in learning how to do this as well. So a couple future things that we're going to be talking about is how to write a book using AI. Okay, no, AI did not write it for me, but I'm going to teach you how to use AI so that it can help you edit it, help you make corrections, help you, add some style to it. We'll be covering that in the future, and then we'll talk about the results of going live and creating these reels. All right? Okay, guys, I appreciate everybody for participating. I'll see you tomorrow on the next live. Take care. Bye.